Boom, baby. We are live. Welcome to Interview with the Man, episode number 359, where I am here with my partner in
degeneracy.
I was gonna say detective. My detective partner.
Yeah.
We are the two greatest detectives in the manosphere. And here we're talking about Troy's fantastic course that actually is launching today. And it is Cad Academy. Troy, tell me about Cad Academy.
Thanks, John. Good to be back after our Holmes and Watson thing the other day. So Cad Academy is my course that basically teaches everything that I've learned over the past 15 years about dating skills, getting to girls, as Aaron would say. You know, it's everything in there that you need to know from A to Z. So there's a lot of material, firstly about mindset stuff and about developing your charisma, because contrary to what people in the certain other aspects of this realm would have you believe, it's not all about looks. It's about how you come across, right? So it's about coming across in the best way possible. We go through the bad boy archetype, how to have edge, how to stand out from the crowd, how to differentiate yourself, polarize people. And then finally, we do a complete breakdown on game. And most importantly of all, we show actual real life interactions and we break them down for you so you know exactly what to do when you're out and about meeting particular girls, daytime, nighttime, whatever.
I like it a lot. What inspired you to make this course?
Well, basically, I'd written, as you know, for a number of years, I'd written articles and I've written a number of books as well. And one of those books is called How to Be an Arsehole, which is the beautifully titled poetic book. But it's actually my best-selling book out of all of the books that I've done. And
really?
it remains the best-selling book. And I think the reason for that is partly because of the title, because the title's a bit, draws people in.
Right.
But more importantly than that, I think it's because it discusses the dark triad characteristics, okay, which is that the dark triad, for people who don't know, is the coming together of narcissism, psychopathy, and Machiavellianism. That sounds really negative and dark, but the reality of it is, when those three things come together in an individual, they tend to be more successful, both in terms of things like business, in the workplace, in politics, but most importantly, in terms of dating as well, because women are drawn to those guys like moths to a flame. Okay. So I wrote this book, How to Be an Arsehole, which breaks it all down, which explains how to be that kind of bad boy, have that bad boy archetype. And because that was so well received, and because that sells really well, even to this day, it occurred to me that obviously the ideas in that are valuable, because a lot of guys come to this space, they're kind of nice guys.
Yeah.
And they need to get that edge. So then I thought, well, listen, let's make this into something that's a bit more accessible. Let's put it into a course, and then I can actually tutor guys through the whole process as well.
Well, I mean, there's definitely not a shortage of people who need help with dating in the world. And I would say, man, you definitely know what you're talking about. And we've had a slew of courses recently. We had my course was out recently. We just had Womanese. Myron Gaines had his course. We got a lot of courses floating around at the moment. What do you think sets yours apart? What do you righteously believe in your heart of hearts?
What sets it apart is that it is a transformational course. It gets right down to the nuts and bolts of what it is that makes you attractive, okay? Mm-hmm. And that sounds highfalutin, but the reality is this, right? When I was in my early 20s, I was horrific with women. In my late teens, early 20s, I was horrific with women. I got no traction, no lays, nothing, right?
When did you get red-pilled?
Well, what happened was I basically went to university in a different town. I was in Manchester, in the north of England, big party town. And I just got heavily into partying. I got heavily into, I was drinking a lot. I was doing a lot of party drugs, things like this. And it was a good time. And I'm not like recommending dudes do that necessarily, but it was a good time. But what happened was it sort of created this massive mindset shift, because whereas before I was really like sort of shy and concerned about what other people think, one day I just woke up and I was like, you know what? Sod it. I'm just going to be myself. I'm just going to be unfiltered. Just do whatever, almost like giving two fingers up to the world sort of thing. And I didn't know how that was going to be received. But actually, what happened was women started to react to me differently. Women started to be attracted to me. And suddenly off the back of that, I got my first girlfriends. We split up. Then I got another girl. Then I got another girl. And that was me. I was bitten by that success. And it was like, right, I am now down for this player lifestyle. I'm not getting off this treadmill. Bang, bang, bang. So it was really that mindset shift that happened to me. And what I do in the course is give guys that same mindset shift that I had, but by backwards engineering it.
I like it. I like it a lot. What does the course entail?
So basically, there's 5 different modules. Okay, so I can show you on screen if you like, if you want to see the basic rundown.
For sure. Because I think for the guys, I met up with somebody in Tokyo today. Actually, I met a guy from Salt, and he needed a little extra help. So I'm actually me and Mac the Day Gamer, we put together a plan for him and what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go shopping with him on Sunday. I'm gonna choose all his clothes out, and then Mac is gonna take his photos, and then we're gonna edit the photos and then create a profile of online dating accounts for him and just show him how to maximize his online dating. And I told him today, because we went to Starbucks, right? And we had a coffee, and I said, I said, mate, let's be honest here. I said, tell me in your heart of hearts, do you really want to just get this part of your life handled? And what does that really mean? Right? What that means, look, we're all adults here, right? What does that mean? Do you want to have sex with a lot of girls? Okay. And for some guys, they don't, right? For me, I do. Right. I'll tell you what, though, that fire has kind of become an ember lately, because I've been more focused on crypto and everything, and just building up my brand. But when I was really I just need to fuck, that's a big part of it. So if you're a guy that really you just you have that desire, that burning fire inside you, I just want to get this sorted, then Troy's the guy to help you out, in my opinion.
Yeah, thank you, John. And I mean, 100%. And I mean, the thing is, basically, I spent really a couple of decades on this stuff. And arguably, you could say I spent too much time chasing girls, trying to get laid, getting failures, getting loads of successes, having adventures all over the world, etc., etc. So I've really immersed myself in this stuff, probably to my detriment, over the past couple of decades. And, you don't have to do that. But what you should do is avoid a lot of the mistakes that I made. And that's what I do in the course. So basically, when you go inside, what you get is this. Firstly, there's an introduction section. Then you get, the first section is called Dating Dynamics, right? And that basically just lays the groundwork. It just explains the whole situation. This is what the global dating marketplace looks like now. These are the downsides, but these are the opportunities. Because as we know, John, there are huge opportunities in this dating marketplace for guys if you get this stuff handled. All right. Then I've got a big section on charisma. So we go all into charisma, what it is, why it's your unfair advantage, the mindset you need, and then specific techniques. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 specific techniques that you can use to increase your charisma when you go out and meet girls. Then we've got a section on the dark side, how to be the bad boy, making yourself your own mental point of origin, dark triad characteristics, how you can almost change the reality around you, the reality distortion field. It's something that Steve Jobs used to talk about, right? You can almost alter the way that you are perceived when you come into a room by the way you act, by the way you manifest yourself. And then the longest section, then we go into radical differentiation. So we've got a whole thing about fashion, about how you look, how you come across. You've got to stand out. You're going to be ruthlessly ignored. So go all into that. And then finally, the final section of this is called Attraction and Dating Techniques. And it is the longest section. It's a complete rundown of everything you need to know, basically in order to do game. It's my sort of this is how you do game, A to Z explanation, if you like. So that is the video course itself. It's broken down into small chunks. There's 10 hours worth of content there. So there's a lot of content, right? You also, as additional material, get 3 of my books. You get the book, How to Be an Arsehole. You get Approach Her Like Chad, and you get Text Game Mastery as well. So 3 really useful books to explain basically just how to get out of your bedroom, out of your basement and go out and start to meet girls. But I think maybe what is really important for people to know is that beyond that core course material, you also get something called Renegade Dating in Field, right? And this is a collection of in-field videos that I've made, basically going and interacting with girls in real life. So this stuff here, this is what really brings it to life, right? Because it's all very well talking about this stuff, but how does it actually look in person? So you've got 12 examples of in-field interactions there with real girls out and about around London. There's a couple of training sessions where I've trained other guys, so you can get to watch those as well. You can see me training these other guys, watching them going out and about, doing their own approaches, and then there's some additional video material in there as well. But I think what guys often really find useful are those in-field videos, because those are the things that really show it happening actually in real life. And recent times showing it actual face-to-face interactions.
I like it a lot. Let's look at some of these infields, because recently we got people complaining about, I want to see receipts. That's the biggest claim we have here. And the people, who are asking for receipts, the only receipts they have are farming tomatoes. So
did you know there's a guy? Did you know there's a guy who appears on those streams sometimes? That dude QB Willie, who turns up and he's in. He turns up and he shows his phone around and he's like got some fat hookers and it's kind of like these are receipts, man. It's like couldn't you even pay for better?
Oh
anyway.
My God. It's so funny looking at those guys. Like they are just so pathetic. It is like unbelievably pathetic. But anyways, let's not give them any more clout that they already don't have. Let's look at this infield. You got an infield for me?
Yeah, let's have a look. Hang on a sec. Let's have a look at something here.
Troy, did you know there's over 20 types of tomatoes?
Is there? Is it true? Is it true that
sex life? So I don't know.
Is it true that tomatoes can only the really tall and Chad-like tomatoes can photosynthesize?
I think so. I think you need to only be 6'4", and the tomato's jaw structure determines whether they get to reproduce.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. All right, cool. Let's now. So what we'll do here is a little bit of like tutoring, if you like, and this is what you get on the course. Okay, so because what that you also get with this course is you get a week's worth of live webinars. The live Zoom webinar structure. I think a lot of people have been inspired by you, John, to do this, but it is a great way of teaching. So I do 10 of them. I'll do them all over 1 week in December. And there's 10 2-hour-plus sessions, basically. And what we're going to be doing is obviously helping the guys with their individual dating issues and challenges, but also breaking down a load of real-life interactions. This is stuff that you can't see anywhere else. You can't see it on YouTube, So what I'll do now is we'll go into almost like a little bit of tutoring. We'll have a look at a video. I'll break it down, and you guys can see the kinds of insights that you can get from looking at this stuff, right? So hang on a sec. Here we go. Let's make this.
There we go.
Have you got volume?
I press play. Let me see. No volume.
Nope. No volume?
No, here. You gotta click the button that says what do you call it?
Yeah, hold on a sec.
There we go.
Let's go back into this. Sorry, guys. Share audio. Here we go. Okay. Right, let's go back in. Okay, you got that?
Yeah, okay. I see the audio icon on there. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Boom, baby. We are live.
Okay, right, let's go. So at the beginning of this, the cameraman doesn't pick us up. So you have to wait for a second until the cameraman turns around to pick us up. But you can hear the audio. Listen.
You have incredibly piercing blue eyes. I know it's kind of random, but it's just like I saw you and I kind of fell a little bit in love with you.
No.
No, a little bit. Just a little.
Okay, so I go in and I say, you've got incredibly beautiful, piercing blue eyes. Now, you might say, well, that's really chody, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But the reality of the matter is, I will always go into a daytime interaction with a compliment, because you want to set the scene that you're basically attracted to her, you're interested in her. And to be honest, if you say something ridiculously over the top like that, she kind of knows that it's a bit of a joke. You're being a bit of a player. Do you know what I mean? Because really, who's going to go up and say that randomly in the daytime? Doesn't happen very often. So I go in with like a massive, almost OTT compliment, right? And then you need to pull it back slightly. So let's see what happens.
Just a little bit. Not totally, but just a little bit. You know. I am Troy.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Okay, so obviously we mute out the names and things. Obviously, don't want to give away anyone's identity here. I do the handshake, right? So I will always sort of try to shake hands with them. Initiating physical contact early on in the interaction is really important, right? Studies show that the sooner that you touch and the more touch that takes place early on, the more likely that couple is to end up having, getting intimate together, right? So you want to do physical touch early on, even something like a handshake. But you'll notice here, I hold the handshake longer than is strictly necessary.
Oh, no. My mother warned me.
So what I do there, I won't keep stopping it too much, but what I do there is important because I've gone in and said, I've fallen in love with you, you've got piercing blue eyes. Then I guess where she's from. So you want to make guesses, you want to make statements, okay? So I'm like, you're Polish. And it turns out I was correct. So she goes, yeah, I am. And then I turn away from her and I say, oh, no, oh, God. And you can see the way she jumps forward a little bit just to almost pull me back, right? So this is what you want to be doing. You can go with a compliment, then you pull it back. You tease a little bit, okay? So look at this.
The Polish girls.
Watch this. When I see what happens when I move away.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Poland?
Yeah.
Oh, no. My mother
So
warned me.
you see how she giggles and then she kind of leans forward almost to pull me back because you're giving her that dopamine. You're giving her those good feelings of like, you're cute, blah, blah, blah. And then you pull it away and then she wants to get it back. Okay. This kind of push-pull, really important in any kind of interaction that you do.
She said the Polish girls.
Yes.
Very beautiful, very elegant, but a little bit dangerous.
That's true, actually.
It's true.
Yeah, it's definitely
Oh, dear.
So that's good, you see. So what I will always do is I will always early on try to position her as being somewhat dangerous, a little bit dodgy, and really underlining that what you're really saying is there's a sort of a sexual element to her. The implication, the underscoring of this is like sexual. You're trying to say she's a bit naughty, she's a little bit mischievous, whatever, right? So I use this stuff a lot and it works really, really well. You want to be positioning her as the bad girl.
I'm nervous now because I'm English gentleman, very innocent.
Oh, I don't believe you.
Oh.
So that's good. So I say I'm an English gentleman. She says, I don't believe you. So she's already, and we're only less than a minute in, she's picked up on that player vibe, right? That's what you want to be giving across. You know, you say, oh, I'm a good, innocent boy. She's like, I don't believe you. That's good, right?
So from Warsaw or?
Yeah, from Warsaw. I'm coming back tomorrow. So.
Going back to Warsaw tomorrow? Fuck, really? Why? Why are you going back to Warsaw?
Because I'm living there.
You are a tourist here?
I just came to visit my friends.
Yeah?
And I love London.
You love London?
Yeah.
You love the architecture?
Yeah, I'm thinking about moving in. So.
The guys? Everything here?
Guys, everything.
Everything is perfect.
Everything is perfect. Clothes.
I heard in Poland that in Krakow it's the party place, like the Vegas of Poland, and Warsaw more hipster.
In the early stages, you've got to keep the thing going, right? You've got to just kind of keep talking. Now, ideally, it's good if you can start to do a bit of storytelling at this point. I don't quite do that here, but what I do is I just throw stuff in, you know, whatever. I know some random stuff about Poland. It's pretty basic what I'm saying, but the important thing is you've got to keep your mouth moving. You've got to keep talking and you've got to keep throwing stuff out there that maybe she's going to pick up on and you guys can start to have a conversation on, because the worst thing that you can do is do something like this and then it just kind of falls flat and you're standing there looking at her, waiting for her to speak, right? You know, you've got to keep talking. You've got to carry the weight of the conversation. And the other thing that is best to avoid is asking her too many questions, because then you're making her do too much work, which is not appropriate at this early stage.
Yeah, a bit.
Yeah?
I don't really like Warsaw. It's like...
Sorry?
I don't like Warsaw. It's shit for me.
Is that where you were born?
No, I was born in Szczecin. It's near Berlin, actually.
Fucking hell. I've been to Stettin.
Really? No.
I have, because I dated a girl from Stettin.
Really?
Seriously.
So nice. I love Szczecin, but it's so small.
It's very small. I think last time I've been a couple of times, and last time I was there, they seem to have improved a little bit. Like they make more.
Much, but Actually, it's small and you can find a pretty good job there.
Have you been to Hormone?
Hormone. Yeah, I know this place.
Yeah,
My mom
yeah, yeah.
goes there sometimes.
Your mum goes there?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
I hope I haven't met your mum. I mean, that would be like fucking crazy. So you are going back to Stettin tonight?
No, I'm going back to Warsaw because I'm living in Warsaw and I was born in Czech.
Oh, I see. I see.
I'm living in Warsaw.
Living in Warsaw for
5 years.
and
Okay.
I'm coming back tomorrow to work and
Yeah, blah, blah, blah.
What do you do? You are a bouncer. You are a security guard.
yeah.
Again, throw in statements. So the three key things that you can talk about with her, making assumptions about her. So where she's from, which is good in London because it's very international. So there's loads of different people from different places. So you can make guesses about where she's from. So, and then you say, oh, you're Spanish. She goes, yeah. But like, oh my God, I went to Barcelona. It was awesome, but this happened, blah, blah, blah. The other thing that you can talk about is what she does. So you can say, oh, you look like a fashion designer. You look like a high-class businesswoman or something like that. Here, as a joke, because she's standing outside the store, I say, oh, are you a bouncer? Are you like a security guard? So you can just throw in stupid random stuff. But it's good to make assumptions and present them as statements rather than asking questions and then get her to feed back. The other thing you can talk about is what she's doing right now. You know, oh, you look like you're in a hurry. You look like you've just robbed a bank, whatever.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Are you guarding the H&M in case anyone trying to rob?
No,
Some of this we have to mute because of technical difficulties. Anyways, we'll move it on a little bit because
no, maybe.
So
We can meet in Warsaw.
probably in the next couple of weeks.
So basically what happens now is that she is going back to Warsaw. As it was, I was going on a trip. I was going to be in Poland anyway. So I say to her, listen, I'm going to be in Warsaw soon anyway. And then she then volunteers that we should meet up. So listen to this.
Actually.
Really?
So
We can meet in Warsaw.
we should
Text me.
we should meet for a
I
coffee.
can show you.
I
Some
need
kind of good-
Yeah, because
places.
I need to know the good places to go in Warsaw
Okay, sure.
because my friend.
So that's what you do. You give her the phone, basically. So get your phone out, get it to the contacts page, give it to her to fill in her details. All right. Now, in this particular instance, I think she kind of liked me anyway. So this was a reasonably straightforward one, if you like. But nevertheless, this same structure always applies. So give her the phone. And while she's putting in the number, it's worth just keeping to talking a bit, because if you then just stand there like a chode, it can feel a bit awkward. And you want to kind of like keep her mind off the fact that, oh, this is a little bit unusual because I've only just met this guy. Because bearing in mind, we're only 3 minutes into the interaction here.
Friend, he is actually.
So she's putting her number in, blah, blah,
I'm
blah.
doing it pretty much. And
And
Did you
then,
add your name?
yeah, this is my name and the surname.
so she's put her
Okay.
number in.
Do you did you go to Berlin a lot then?
And then we're talking some crap about Berlin because she's quite near to Berlin. And then there's an interesting bit coming up now.
Friends and,
Because the parties are good there.
Yeah, techno
Yeah.
clubs are the best.
Do you like techno?
Yeah, I'm so in love, They're
Okay, so watch this bit. So we're talking some BS about Berlin, and we talk about the techno scene. She tells me she loves techno, right? I then high five her. Now the high five, again, physicality, bringing that touch in early on. High five is a really good way to get some physicality because it's not creepy. It's a very standard thing to do. But watch what happens because I maintain the physical touch. So we do the high five,
brave shit.
and then we drop down, but I'm holding her hands. Okay. And remember, this is only 3.54 minutes into the interaction. So 4 minutes into the interaction, I'm holding hands with her in the street, right? So watch this.
I'm so ready.
I can tell on your hand.
I then start to go into a fake palm read. Now, obviously, I know nothing about palm reading. I know nothing about astrology or any of that BS. But girls really like it. So palm reading is really good because you could do it in a jokey way. You're getting physical contact. It sort of ticks that box of what they call chick crack. And most importantly, though, as I say, it allows you to maintain physical contact. So watch this.
Yeah, you see your lifeline is very long. And
I don't think so, but we.
yeah. And that's your sex line. That's why it's long. I got it wrong. The lifeline is very short, but the sex line is it's very long.
It can be true.
So naughty. So there you go. Okay. So I say to her, obviously you heard the joke, your lifeline's very long. She's like, I don't think so. I'm like, oh, it was your sex line, ha ha ha. And she goes, yes, it can be true. And that's really, really good, because what I'm always seeking to do in these things is I'm, as I say, positioning her in a sexual way. There's an undercurrent of sexuality, of flirtatiousness, right? And if you do that, and then the girl buys into that frame, which she does here, that is a really, really good sign, because covertly what you're saying is you're a sexual person, and she's basically saying, yeah, I am, right? So the subtext is everything with these interactions, but that's a really nice example of how that works.
I spend a lot of time in Berlin because I have a small studio there, so.
Okay, and then we just go into some BS. That's kind of the highlight of that bit. The only other thing of interest that happens here is a friend of hers walks into the interaction, or this other bird she knows walks into the interaction. And sometimes, if you're meeting people out and about, this kind of thing will happen, and you just have to be ready to roll with it, really. So,
Maybe?
Yeah.
Another thing that's worth probably mentioning is, after you've got the phone number and stuff, you can keep the conversation going for a little bit longer, because you want to make this look as like natural and just straightforward, easy as possible. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing weird. There's nothing creepy. There's no manipulation. You two have met each other. You've got a bit of a good vibe together. You've exchanged numbers. You're going to meet up again, just having a bit of a chat. Do you know what I mean? Like, this should all be really natural and normal. And then her friend comes in.
Hello, baby. This is my friend. I'm not.
Hello.
No, okay. Yeah,
Lovely to meet you. What's your name?
So,
Nice to meet you.
met on the rave party,
Did you? Oh,
the rave party.
wow. Okay. Which
I think
party
it's
is it?
I think it's really great how can you pause it for a sec, Troy?
Yeah.
I think it's really great how as soon as the girl came into the set, you immediately like snuffed it out. You're like, "Hey, what's up? I'm Troy." You took established dominance over the situation, and you made sure that you were still because a lot of like the problem with this corner of the internet is like when guys are having trouble with figuring out their dating life, they lack certain social skills, and women are socially elite when it comes to their conversation skills versus men on a broader spectrum. And the fact that you just showed social calibration, and you're just like, hey, what's up? I'm Troy. Nice to meet you. And you really handled that. Like you really like basically neutralized something that could have really botched the set. Because some guys would sit there, hands in their pocket and be like, oh, we'll be here. I'll just sit here. I don't want to be rude. I want to be this. I don't want to be that. But that was really solid, man. Very solid of you.
Yeah, thanks, man. No, thanks for that. And actually, that's what I was going to go on to say about the friend coming in, because basically, after that bit, I just say, yeah, hi, how's it going? And we have a little bit of a chat. And then I say, all right, guys, well, listen, I've got to get going. I've got to go meet somebody. So you have a great day. I'll speak to you later. And then eject from the set. And when I've shown that before, sometimes guys have said, oh, didn't you try with the friend and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, man, listen, you want to take your win. You want to then appear normal, socially calibrated, just a decent guy, and then just go about your business, right? I mean, there's no, don't fall on the side of looking like then some horn dog and trying to then seduce her mate. But at the same time, like you said, don't make the mistake of fluffing the set by being really awkward or shy or whatever. You've just got to be a regular dude, right? And sort of discreet as well. Because then it turned out that those girls didn't actually know each other that well. And so you've then got that weird dynamic. The first girl isn't going to want to look like a hoe in front of some friend of hers that she's relatively, like newly friends with. So you've just got to be cool and just be sensitive to the social situation.
I like it a lot. If you guys have any questions in the chat, let me know. We can knock out some of these things here on the live stream while we're here up and running. I just gotta say, I think that you are one of the most sincere members in the kind of dating sphere. I think really when it comes down to being on Rule Zero, the as far as the core members, you and I are the only ones really still in the field and actively teaching the common day,
day-to-day
the skills of getting girls and how to do it, and honestly just how much of a rewarding lifestyle it is, because I'm drowning with choice, man. I'm 35. I've been in the game now 18 years, bro. 18 years since my first loss of my virginity until now. Here we are, 230 plus 230 plus lays later, ripe age of 35, like, you know, I've got a lot of experience, and a lot of guys, you know, a lot of guys in this corner of the internet, you know, they're big talkers, big talkers. But from your Twitter account alone, I can tell you know what you're talking about. Reading your stuff, I hate Twitter, as you know, I've been banned off of Twitter like 6-7 times now. But I always follow you when I make my new account, and I gotta say, man, you know what you're talking about. You know what you're talking about. Giga Chad says, Troy, cool AF. It's fantastic. What else you got? Anything else to show us? Any more goods? Anything else to say?
Yeah, we can do another one if you like.
We got a question in the chat here. Look at this. This guy's actually kind of intricate question. I think you should definitely tackle this one. His name is Facundo. Where is it? Maybe Fasundo. I don't know. Hold on. Where the hell is it? Okay, here we go. Facundo Rosada Ayestaran. That's a very interesting name. He says, does charisma include an engaging conversation? We'll start with that one. What do you say, Troy?
Yes, I think it does. I think being able to engage verbally is a key part of it for sure. Okay. Of course, what the definition of an interesting conversation is another thing. But yes, I think absolutely on that one. And then he says, do you need to read lots of interesting stuff to always have something interesting to say to a girl? Well, that's one way of doing it. Yeah. I mean, the more you read, yeah, for sure. But I would say, I don't know what you think, John, but I would say that in living an interesting life is really the best way, right? Because the more interesting experiences you've had, that's what's really going to bring it to life.
You know, you got to like understand certain aspects of girl world, right? I ask when you see my show, Interview with the Lady, right? And shout out to all the girls that are watching me now. Hey, babies. You know, I always intentionally talk about Zodiac, and they're like, it's like chick crack. They can't help themselves. What's your sign? What are you?
Me. I'm actually on the cusp between Pisces and Aquarius.
So which one are you though? What do you mean?
I mean, I'm sort of, my birthday's in between the two. I think I'm more Pisces.
Wait, why is your birthday in between the two? How does that make sense?
I could probably get a proper reading, and then I'd know definitely which one I was. But my birthday...
What's your birth date?
19th of February.
Is that in the middle, really?
Yeah. Well, in the UK, whenever I look at the star signs, some sources say Aquarius, some sources say Pisces. So there probably is a definite which one or the other, but I've never looked into it enough.
Well, you're so indecisive. That's such a Pisces. That's such a Pisces thing to be so indecisive of you. But, you know, little things like that, you got to be dialed in. So I would answer to his question. Now, I want to do a micro breakdown on your question here. It says, do you need to read a lot of interesting stuff to always have something interesting to say to a girl? So your question is properly, your heart's in the right place. But here's the thing. You don't need to be in a mindset of thinking like, oh, how can I be interesting to this girl? How can I be entertaining to this girl? You know, what is so like, you know, how can I keep her? How can I stop her from leaving me? Leaving me? You know, that's what I'm picking up from you. If she wants to walk away, let her walk away. But at the end of the day, you know, having an engaging conversation and being naturally charismatic in person is a magnetic skill that you should develop for all your interactions, because the average person is socially retarded. And it's, especially now when everybody's got their face like, you know, buried in one of these things, right? They're so like socially inept. Social media has made people socially retarded. And if you have, you know, solid conversation skills, you know how to read body language, you know how to read cues and everything, that will set you light years ahead of the rest of the people in the world in regards to having a fantastic sex life, first and foremost, the most important thing for a man, in my opinion. And then, you know, being able to handle yourself in social settings, and then also being able to handle yourself in business settings. And here's another thing. When a girl looks at you and she sees like, oh my God, this guy's like socially dialed in, he's like calibrated as shit, they're going to look at this guy and be like, I like this guy. Or they're going to hate you because they're going to be like, oh, this guy, you know, I can't control him. I can't be socially dominant over him. So he's the threat. So it'll be very polarizing skill, but I would rather have the skill than not have the skill, personally speaking.
Yeah, I think it is social skills that really, really makes the difference. And I mean, this is where the whole "it's only looks that matter" thing is a bit suspect. Because yeah, of course, looks, you need to maximize your looks. Yeah, you need to look good. But the guys who really kill it out there are the guys who are able to command socially. You know, the guys who are able to talk and to be listened to, more importantly, and to be engaging and funny and charming and pull people into their reality when they talk. And those are the things that really make the difference. You know, I mean, sure, that, you know, the 6'4" Chad, whatever. Yeah, he's going to get some passive income, definitely. You know, but like, if you really want to be out there killing it, then you need to develop these other skills in order to really maximize yourself.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Do we have any more questions in the chat? What's the chat say? I knew you, Aries. LOL. Ever girl. That's so true.
Yeah. But they do love all that stuff, don't they? It's really, really true. And it is actually worth. I should learn more about horoscopes. It's really, really worth doing. And also, you know, even the palm reading stuff, you could take a bit more seriously. Anything about psychic stuff, it's really, really key.
Let's see what else we got. You want to show anything else?
Yeah, I could show one where I'm talking to two girls because
perfect.
Because guys
Omar,
often ask.
He's right here. Look at that.
How do you ask about it?
How do you open to multiple chicks? Says Omar.
Okay, well, let's have a look at this one then. This is one we did a while back. So oh shit, actually, hang on a sec. I don't know if we
is there a chapter on growing tomatoes?
We are gonna have we're gonna put some growing tomatoes content in there for sure.
How Chad is growing tomatoes while female masking at the same time.
I think if you've got those two skill sets down, then you are pretty much set as far as the modern dating market is concerned. Okay, so look, so this is one with two girls, and this is a slightly and listen, you know, I'm honest about this stuff. You know, people are like people are sort of like, oh, you know, these guys scammers and all this kind of stuff. The reality is, you know, I've got plenty of examples of things where there have been rejections or it hasn't gone particularly well. And there are other instances where, you know, even if the whole set's gone well, I will point out what I've done badly. You know, I'll say I shouldn't have done that. I kind of dropped the ball there a little bit, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And this particular set was a little bit sort of mixed up, and I'll explain why in a minute. But anyway, let's have a look. So here we go. All right. Let me know if the volume's all right.
Excuse me,
Perfect.
guys. Really quick.
You get that?
Yeah, perfectly.
Great stuff. Okay, so I saw them walking down the street. This girl here is Colombian, wearing this dress, and
she's got a booty like a Colombian. Good Lord.
Indeed. And I'd actually seen them before, earlier on, and then we saw them again. And I thought, listen, I've just got to go and talk to these girls. She was quite attractive, so I walked behind. I sort of walk behind them, and then I just do an arc, and then walk in front of them and stop both of them at the same time. So this is how I do a stop for two girls. Right, here we go.
Excuse me, guys. Could I say something really quickly? I just wanted to say, I very much like your dress.
Oh.
Do you see this dude here, like looking around? He's like, "Oh my god, somebody's spoken to a woman."
I very much like your dress.
Oh.
It looks like it looks like you're anywhere, and we're out in the daytime. It looks like you're going to the party. I mean, what's going on?
Thank you. Yeah, I just like to dress this way. I just really like silk.
I really like silk as well.
Thank you very much.
It's nice to sleep in, but daytime, I'm not so sure.
So that's an example. I mean, she says, "I really like silk," and I say, "I really like silk too."
You dress so well.
Me?
Yeah, I love that outfit.
Oh, cheers, man. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's pretty simple, pretty minimalist, but you want to look kind of sharp. Do you know what I mean? This is why I always bang on about clothes being well fitting and stuff like that. You want to just look like just sharp and together. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, I say so here at this point, I probably could have taken the double entendre a little bit in a different direction, because she says she likes silk, and I say it's good to sleep in, and she kind of like, her eyes light up a little bit, and she looks at her friend, and I could have taken that in, because that is obviously, there's a sexually suggestive undertone to that, and I could have gone in that direction, but I don't. And I think the reason that I didn't was because, listen, we're now at the moment, we're 26 seconds into the interaction. And what you can do, and I've fallen prey to this many times, is that you can you know, you need to sexualize the interaction, but you can also go too far, and then you just look creepy, and that's not a cool thing to do. So I choose not to go down that avenue of like, so do you often sleep in silk or something like that, because it could have backfired badly. So instead, I just carry on the conversation.
You guys are from Italy?
No. I'm from Colombia.
Romania. Oh, okay, Romania. Where are you from? I'm from London, actually.
Are you actually?
I am.
Really?
Why you don't believe me?
You do look London.
I'm from London originally, but I've traveled around different places. I've lived in different areas. You are from in Colombia, from Medellin?
No. Why do you know?
Because my friend has an apartment there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He told me actually in Colombia, apparently the lockdown, only 400 people or like 400 people or something have died in Colombia, and everyone is still locked down.
That's not true. Like 40,000 people have died already.
Oh, okay. All right.
Sorry to any Colombian viewers on this. This is talking about death rates is, to be honest, probably not a great thing to do.
Oh, this was recent then. Was that Corona related?
That's Corona related, yeah.
When was this?
It was sort of late summer kind of thing.
All right.
So
you still got it. You look great.
Thanks, man. So I like. Here's the thing, right? What I always do in the early stages, I throw stuff out there. You know, you're just chucking stuff out there, hoping that something kind of sticks. And so, because somebody had just told me this thing about Colombia and about the virus, I sort of threw that out there. She said it was incorrect. At that point, you're like, oh, damn, this is actually a very bad conversational route to go down. So that's why I then changed the subject immediately, because, you know, you don't really want to be talking about negative things or getting into it, or certainly not getting into any political or anything like that. The reason I mentioned it is just because everyone was talking about lockdowns. It's kind of all anyone's talking about, and it, you know, whatever. But anyway, I then changed subject pretty quick.
In that case, all right, fair enough. Fair enough. But you are lucky to be out of Colombia and not there. Yeah.
I've been here for a long time now.
Oh, really? Okay.
They're both crossing their legs, you'll notice here.
Yeah.
Which body language, people who've been on body language mastery will know is a pretty good sign. So I think you could see when I approached them, they were both, I think, pretty flattered, and they're both kind of like, you know, they kind of liked it. So the vibe was pretty good from the beginning.
You love the British guys.
Not necessarily. I don't know. It depends.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. The nationality doesn't matter, right?
I always say that, or I often say that thing, you know, like I'll say, especially if they're foreign, I'll say, so you love London, you love the guys, you love the British guys, and I'm sort of pointing at myself, and it's not because it's not because in reality I'm walking around thinking, I'm such a Chad, I'm so amazing. I mean, thank you. Thanks, John. Thanks, I appreciate it. But do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not actually thinking that, but it's a bit like, if you're cocky like that, if you big yourself up, they actually buy into that vibe. It's kind of incredible. Like, when I discovered this, it's sort of, you know, it's amazing how it works. So I'll always big myself up, even if I'm not actually feeling it.
Yeah. Personality counts. And you are from Bucharest, or?
Bucharest, yes.
I don't know what the cameraman's doing.
I didn't even know.
You didn't know? How do you guys know each other?
University.
Oh, okay. And what are you studying?
Architecture.
Ah, okay.
So what happened here was basically, obviously, generally speaking, if I go in and talk to two, then there's usually one that I like, and the other one is just there, and I'm just, you know, being friendly to her. In this instance, this second one, the Romanian, like, at first I hadn't been bothered, but then as we were talking, firstly, I felt like I was getting some indicators of interest from her. And I was thinking maybe I wasn't sure about this brunette girl. And secondly, I thought, actually, she's kind of cute. So what I then start to do here is turn my attention towards her, the girl in the fur coat. And arguably, you could say maybe that was not the best thing to do, because really I prefer to be pretty clear about, right, I'm here to stop you because I'm interested in you. And it's all very clear. Do you know what I mean? And I think I muddy the waters here a little bit. But, you know, anyway.
You look very artistic.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was going for that. Thank you.
Exactly.
You look very London.
Thank you. You know, minimalist, keeping it simple. You know, not being too outrageous or too frilly. You know what I mean? Exactly. Was it Johnny Cash who said, "I wear black on the outside because I feel black on the inside"?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
You feel black in the inside.
I was only joking. I don't really. I feel very positive, but I think Johnny Cash said that to explain why he's always wearing black.
Again, I just kind of threw that in because it was something that I knew. I mean, literally in the early stages, it's almost like, one of those modern artists like Jackson Pollock, you're throwing paint at the wall and you're hoping something sticks. So I chucked in that thing about Johnny Cash. As it is, it was a kind of boomer reference. They didn't know what the hell I was talking about. But you never know. You never know. Like sometimes you'll just throw something random in and one of them will be like, oh my God, I saw that movie that about him. I love him or something. Do you know what I mean? So you never know. So it's always worth chucking stuff out there. And this kind of goes back to that guy's question about, do you have to read to know interesting things to talk about? I mean, like, really, you should be unfiltered and just say whatever you want to say. Do you know what I mean? Like, just if you want to talk about Johnny Cash to a couple of random girls, then do that, It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
The hair is there nearly.
Exactly. So what are you guys up to now? Are you out partying or?
Walking, enjoying the
We're
day.
gonna have dinner later.
Oh, really? Am I invited? Well, listen, I'd love to go for coffee with you guys another time. Maybe we could exchange numbers.
Well, I'm kind of taken.
Oh.
Right. So this one says that she's got a boyfriend. So, and it was kind of weird because I felt like I was getting some indicators of interest off her. Maybe I was, but she says she's got a boyfriend. So then I kind of just look at the other one. I'm like, all right.
Are you on WhatsApp?
So then I take the phone out. I'm like, "Are you on WhatsApp?" And I'm opening the phone to the contacts page. You just be assumptive about it, okay? It's like there shouldn't be any question that you're going to take her. She's going to give the number.
Yeah, I don't really give my number to strangers.
I'm not a stranger though. I feel like we've known each other for so long.
Should I make an exception?
How you feel?
I can send you one message later and then we can decide.
That's actually if people know James Tusk, the day gamer, that's a bit of a James Tusk line. He really plays it down. He's like, listen, just give me a number. I'll send you one message. If you want to come out, great. If you don't, that's fine. No problem. You really play it down.
You have to seize the moment sometimes.
I'm not influencing you in any way. The decision.
Oh, you're just like right it down.
Well, you have to seize the moment sometimes, don't you?
Should I louder?
How do you feel? You live the moment? Totally.
I don't know
Exactly.
if this is my number though.
How do I spell your name?
And then she starts to give the number. Now, you remember the old sales thing, when you've made the offer to the prospect, then just stay silent, just shut up.
Oh yeah.
And that's what I do there.
Let me save it. Actually, my name is Valentina.
Valentina.
Let's see if you can actually spell it.
Of course I can spell it.
What's your name again?
Valentina.
Yeah, what's your name again?
Troy.
Troy.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you remind me of... Never mind.
Of what?
High School Musical. Like
Oh, really? Is it correct?
yeah, that's fine. Just put like, hey, yeah.
Yeah.
And there you go. So, so that's another example. Just a very quick interaction, kind of fun, flirty, whatever. You get the number, and the point about it is this: if you're doing that a couple of times a day, once a day, a few times a day, whatever, some of those things are going to come off. Some of them aren't. It doesn't really matter. You keep doing that, rinse and repeat. You're going to have a very prolific, abundant sex life, right? Because you've got that skill set down. You just do it when you're out and about, and it's not a big deal. It doesn't take very long either, and you can get phone numbers really quickly. So, and then from there, as I say, some of those will turn into dates, some won't. That's just how it goes. But it's amazing what you can do in a fairly short space of time.
I think it's just such a testimony to like just the situation at hand. Like a lot of people just say like, oh, because of the virus situation, we can't get girls, or I'm ugly, or I'm not 6 foot million feet, or I'm not a billionaire, or all.
Don't grow tomatoes.
I don't grow tomatoes. I don't have a female masking tomato garden. Like I don't have all this stuff, and so it's like it's a million excuses people can have. But look, at the end of the day, like people are here to have sex. People want to have sex.
Well, I mean, listen, and I again, I'm not bigging myself up here or anything, but I mean, look at that interaction. When I walked in and started talking to them, I mean, they kind of brightened up. They were like, yeah, this is cool, and they both wanted to talk to me, and it was a short interaction. It was, it was quite funny. It was whatever, it's quite nice when you do it in the right way. It can be good for them, good for you, and you get a number, and then something can lead on from that. Because as soon as, it's like you always say, as soon as they're in your funnel. And in a sense, it doesn't matter if you meet them like that or you meet them off a dating app or whatever. Once they're in the funnel, then you're pushing forward for the date. And then, but you've got to get them in the funnel first. And that's a way of doing it, having that just personal, in-person ability to be social.
Yeah. Thomas Wade said, just learning this skill of talking to girls will put you over 90% of the competition. So true, man. These girls live to chat and gossip and run their mouths. And if you can facilitate a good conversation for them, listen, if you get into their ear, you can get into their mind. You can get into their mind, you can get into the bed. It's that simple. It's really that simple.
Absolutely, indeed. Because, and as well, if you're not doing that, then you are wasting opportunity. There are opportunities out there that you could have taken that you are leaving on the table, effectively. It's sort of like, because if you think about, if you did that a couple of times a day or, whatever, or every time, whenever you walked out to the cafe to get a frappuccino or whatever you're going to do, by the end of the week, you would have a load of new numbers in your phone and you'd have a number of prospects for dates. What's to argue with that, right?
Yep. So you ended up scoring, she was not the Colombian. What was it? Was it the
No, the Colombian. You
did score with the Colombian. The Romanian girl was Valentina.
No, the Colombian was Valentina.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a very rare name for a Colombian girl.
Wow.
But that's fantastic. Did you smash?
Well, a gentleman never tells, but let's just say that a good time was had by all.
You are fluent in Spanish now.
Exactly.
Fantastic. She had a great booty, man. That was like, and how old are you, Troy? Tell the folks how old you are.
I am in my mid-40s, guys.
I love it. Killing the game.
Absolutely, mate.
Murdering the game, bro.
It's absolutely doable. It's absolutely doable. Do you know what I mean? It really, really is. I think for guys, we've got such a long shelf life. You can certainly keep this going all through your 40s. I would imagine into your 50s. I mean, beyond 50s, like we're the canary in the coal mine, aren't we? I mean, we're not seeing many 60-year-old dudes walking around doing that. But at the same time, I know guys who are in their 60s who are still fit, healthy. They have great lives. They go on skiing holidays. They're like, they do sports. They're like, do you know what I mean? So as guys, we're really, really lucky. And it's good to learn this skill set because that's just going to stay with you as you mature and hopefully gain some status as well.
Yeah, I think there's a guy in our community. Actually, I don't think I know. There's a guy in our community in his early 60s, and he has a rotation of a woman in 35. He's hooked up with some girls recently in their mid 20s. And he's capitalizing on daddy issues. And, are the girls like perfect 10s? Look, let's just talk about this real quick, Troy, the reality of the dating world. People, I think it's funny when guys like want to accuse us and be like, oh, MLD's not banging perfect 10s every single day of the week. What a fraud. As they broadcast this from their mother's basement, literally. But that's not the reality of the dating world. I mean, it's if you chart it out on the bell curve, the majority of hot people is a small percentage of the population. So it's statistically impossible to be doing that unless you're a celebrity. Really, that's the only people who do it on regular celebrities.
Well, yeah, there's a lot to unpack with all of that, really. I mean, the reality is results will vary, and results will vary for the same guy. I mean, and there isn't so much rhyme or reason to it because I've been successful with what I would class as very top tier girls. There are certainly some 8s and some 9s that I've been successful with in my life. I'm not saying that happens all the time. And then I've also been rejected by girls who are sort of at the 6 low 7 level.
Yeah,
So that
course.
it's not like, you know, I could walk up to a 6 and she just looks at me and she goes, yeah, sorry, mate, not interested, and that's it. And then I'll walk up to a girl who's an 8.5 or a 9, and she entertains me and she really likes me. So it's not as cut and dried as to say, you know, there's this exact sort of science of leagues, and if you're not in this league, then you're never going to get this girl here. It doesn't really work like that, but because there's so many other factors that go into it. But yeah, I mean, but the reality is, I mean, most guys can improve their dating life. They can improve the quality that they get, but certainly the, you know, the volume that they get, if that's what you're interested in doing. You know, you could definitely get better results than you're getting now. That's not to say that you're going to be dating Victoria's Secret models if you take my course or you take anyone else's course. Frankly, that's not how it works. But you can certainly do better. There are certainly things you can learn in order to level up.
And reality is this, right? Most people, I don't know about that. I'll tell you that. I think most guys' standards on the surface level, they pretend like I only bang 7s and above, blah blah blah. But like, I think, like, you know, there's been a few dragons slayed here and there. For me,
Well,
Troy, for me personally, I'm a dog, man. I'm a dog. I just, for me, if it's new, I'm interested.
Well, that's true. That's true. That's true. And I think guys are like, sometimes I think guys are probably being a bit disingenuous online. You know, you'll post a picture of a girl who's pretty attractive, and they'll go, "Oh no, mate, she's a 6 at best." And you kind of think, really, seriously? And you know, you could rest assured that if she was sitting on his bed in lingerie, that he would want to be in there. So it's all a little bit sort of like disingenuous online. There's a bit too much like macho sort of like, no man, I'm only dating 10s kind of thing, which is all nonsense. But listen, I mean, like, you know, people can be disparaging about, say, 7s or even high 6s. Some of those girls are really damn cute. I mean, what would you rather be doing? Would you rather be with her? Or would you rather be sitting in your mum's basement talking about tomatoes? I mean, It's like, you know, so it's all sort of nonsense, really. But just getting the skill set down, getting socializing better, it's just going to optimize everything for you.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, the reality of the dating game is not the idealized thing that a lot of people think it is in their mind. The reality of the dating game is a lot different. However, if you're a guy who is, quite frankly, just disappointed with your dating life, I can 100% say with a clear conscience that 2 things. One, Troy is the guy to help you really take it to the next level with his coaching. My coaching is actually closed right now, so you can't get in, but you can get in with Troy. And the number 2 thing is this, like, if you're a guy like gravitating, even like I've seen some people from my community slowly gravitate over to like the black pill thing and go on their stream. And these guys are bottom feeder guys, right? They don't take care of themselves. Their SMV is in the trash. They have garbage Instagram profiles. They have garbage fashion. They have garbage physical appearance. And they kind of take this victim mindset. And I just tell you, just in general, even if you don't sign up for Troy's course or whatever, stay away from consuming the MGTOW content and the black pill content, because that stuff will erode away on your life on multiple avenues. It will erode away on your mental happiness, your emotional happiness, your financial well-being. Consuming this kind of negative, toxic content is not beneficial for you at all. 0%.
It's really toxic. It's really, really toxic.
Yeah, exactly. Roberto F has a very important question. Says, boom, would you rather be at your mom's basement or working that 6 to 7? What do you think, Troy?
Mate, I'd rather be working the 6 to 7, 100%. And I mean, like I say, I mean, I don't think sevens, you know, should be disparaged at all. I think 7 is pretty damn cute, you know. Yeah. And to be honest, I think a lot of guys who are disparaging of this space, if they could get with a so-called 7, they'd probably chop their arm off to do that, you know.
Incognito says, what about success for guys that are 5'10" or 5'7" with butterface asking for a friend?
Well, I mean, 5'10" is a good height, and I mean, even, you know, exactly. I mean, butterface is like, well, you've got to get lean, right? I mean, you've got to, you know, do the work, as Rich would say. I mean, there's no real way around that. I mean, it's like, height is one thing. Yeah, of course, you know, if you're taller, great, but if you're not, what are you going to do? You've got to work with what you got. But we can all work on our fitness. We can all work on going to the gym, getting lean, etc., etc. So that's what you need to do. You need to max out. I think actually Rich in his book, I'm talking to Rich later about his book on my channel, and he's got a good line in there, which is something like, accept what you can't change and max out what you can. And, you know, that's good advice for all of us.
Well, listen, guys, Troy's course is only available for the next 4 days, okay? Because the reason is his online Zoom sessions where he gets in there and actually works with you one-on-one, all right? He is going to be doing that soon. I will be in those sessions as well. I will be participating. I will also be in many things with Troy in the future. Hot Dude House is going to happen in 2021 for sure. We are going to come back and do the in real life training with the OGs that held through 2020 with us. We're going to take care of you guys. We're going to get everything really good sorted out. So click the link in the chat. It's going to be available for another 4 days. Sign up if you want to support me and support Troy. And until then, we'll see you here tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, for another show. Until then, you guys have a wonderful day and peace